Michael kind of forced my hand, said, well, Ray's going live. I wasn't planning on going live, but I guess now I'm live. So here I am. Let me get, I gotta get coffee going. Gotta get coffee going. This out of the way. This What's going on, Chief? I wasn't ready to go live yet. I wasn't trying to get Michael to get off of his live. I was trying to see if we couldn't coordinate. I don't mind, doing live at like any time. I just want to know what time that is. Like, I want to kind of, be consistent. What's up, John Platt? Let's get some coffee happening. It's almost dry. My shirt is a crying shame. There's no way that I should have gotten. I'm into guy tie. I shouldn't sweat. Damn sink had me sweating, but I don't know if y'all, hold on, let me get down here where the camera follow me, but got it all done. After Teflon, a different connector, got it all done. Yeah, I like this shirt. Whenever you starting early. Yeah, I know. I wasn't planning on, James, I wasn't planning on going until 6, but a buddy of mine was going live, and I was trying to coordinate with him, because I like to have a consistent time, just like you. Whenever I normally start my live stream 6 o'clock. So I was just trying to coordinate with him. Like, I don't care, what time he does his live. I just wanted to be kind of consistent where, like, at a certain time I'm going to be doing my live. So it's fair to everybody. You know what I mean? Like you'll be able to know, like, when I'm going live. Place be with you. Hello. How are you doing? You need to coordinate, man. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Like, I wasn't, I got on Michael's live, and I was asking him, like, when do you want to do live? That my question was, like, when would you, what time slot would you like? I can work around, whatever time slot he wanted to do. That wasn't what I was saying. I was just saying, hey, pick a time, and I'll pick a time, and then we won't be bumping heads. But like for probably about 2 months straight, I was doing live stream at 6 p.m. Every day, and I normally do about an hour and a half ish, and then I get off. So, okay. Cheers. Is that coffee host? Absolutely. Coffee and a Hello Kitty cup. Yes, sir. Good evening. Good evening, Poggy. So yeah, I got my sink done. I went to Handyman over at the Robinson Mall, and then I got stuff that I needed, some more Teflon tape, some gaskets, connector, and ended up between the stuff I've got and the stuff that was originally there. I Frankenstein that thing up, and I leak checked it a couple times. Filled the sink up, and then let it drain, make sure that it wasn't leaking. Then filled it up again, let it drain. So I think we got it whooped now. John, I have TV and phone, so I can imagine 2 at once. Yeah, John, I know there's a lot of viewers that that can watch 2 streams at once, but there's some that can't or don't. And the other thing is, like, depending on what's going on with the conversation, like, it's hard to like stay kind of connected, like, to 2 different conversations going on. You get lost in the chat, so you basically just chat in one stream and not the other, and like that is not good. Chief says hi to Pogie. Carl Arn, hey Ray, we are back in Norway. See you next year. Nice place you have there. Yeah, Carl, I was actually thinking about you the other day. I was gonna call you and check to make you, like, you called me before you were flying out to Norway. Look at the sky. Look at that over there. Hold on. Let's see if we get this turned that way. Look over there. What we got over there. Is that not a beautiful sunset? The red sky at night, sailor's delight. So hopefully all the weather is gone. Got a basketball game going on over there. I am not gonna go join in, but it's a nice evening. I'm glad I got my sink done. I think that's about all I'm gonna do today. But yeah, Pogie said Cebu has had a tragedy last night, Tuesday night. They had earthquake. Yeah, intensity 6.9, casualty, 30 dead and so many wounded. That's partial record at the moment. Yeah. I saw that, Pogie. That it's terrible about the earthquake over that way. John said, yeah, Ray, your time, 6 o'clock, stick to it. Amazing sunset. Yeah, it is. And I agree, John. I don't, I'm not confrontational. I'm not like, this is my time, I got to do my time. Like I'd be fine, if there's a reason someone wanted to do it at 6 o'clock, then I could move my time around, and then I would, develop a system, or not a system, but a consistency on a different time, and just be consistent. Because that's all I want. I just, I just want, like, the YouTubers that are, kind of working together. We kind of share the same audience. Like, I just, like, I want to work together, not against each other. And, like, for me, like I said, I just want to have, a set time that I'm going to go live. So it's predictable. That way, You could be sitting around at home, look at your watch, say, "Oh, Ray's going to be going live here in about 10 minutes," and I'll be going live in about 10 minutes because I want to be consistent. Bogey said Cebu has belonged to Valley Fault Line, and so many provinces include. Uh, yeah, Ray, no beef, all work together. Yeah, absolutely. Like you know, I wasn't upset about it or anything. I just, it is, just I'm getting ready to go live, and I get on my phone, I start doing stuff, and then I look and I was like, well, Michael's already live. I wonder how long he's going to be live, and I was thinking, well, you know, uh, like we need to get it worked out where, uh, you know, we're not splitting view. Even viewers that can watch on multiple devices, like that's still splitting like attention, you know. And anyway, but yeah, Pokey, we've had since I've been here. I think we've had 2 or 3 earthquakes. They weren't that magnitude, and it shook the condo a little bit. Recently, we had a volcano eruption, but I haven't seen like any ash or anything like that. But the tall volcano erupted. Uh, oh, I got my phone in my pocket. Uh, I jumped between anyway, no stress. Yeah, and
And one time a black guy was like, "Why Monica? You look more like a Chandler."
all right. Let me get my live stream up so I can follow the comments a little bit better. Yeah, and like I've got 2 YouTube accounts. If 2 people are live streaming, like I can watch 2 different accounts, but normally I'm only commenting on one of the live streams because I've got the volume down so you know I can't listen to like 2 live stream conversations, so I turn the volume down on one, and then I'm watching on the other one and talking on the other live stream. Uh, Maybe 6 a.m. Yeah, I would get up at 6 a.m. But see, the problem is I don't know. There's another streamer called Gino on Dazzle TV, and he normally does early in the morning, and it's normally like 6 or 7, somewhere in there. So I don't want to bump heads with him either. Uh, so, like I said, uh, I want to do it, um, you know, where it's fair to everybody. Do do do. So yeah, I went. Okay, I went over the early this morning. Well, it was 10 o'clock because normally, like everywhere in the Philippines, the mall opens at 10 o'clock. That's pretty much Philippines wide. So around 10 o'clock, I walked over to the Robinson Mall to the handy man and uh, got the plumbing stuff that I needed. And I was coming back. I was like, I'm kind of hungry. I haven't eaten any breakfast. So I stopped at Mary Grace and had eggs Benedict. They were good. Little pricey. I mean, not pricey for the U.S., but pricey for the Philippines. It was basically like $10 for breakfast. Eggs Benedict, $10, and for just you know piece of piece of toast about that big with some ham and tomato. Tomatoes were good and they were salted. Tomatoes were actually good. Some arugula, like green stuff, and then eggs and the hollandaise sauce, and it was good. It tasted really good, and I'm not complaining about $10 for a meal, but you know, uh, I wouldn't do that every day. And then, so while I was there, I was looking like in the mall. They've got at the Robinsons Mall, they've kind of got like open air like booths, like, uh, and I was looking over and I saw this shirt, and I was like, I like that shirt. Went over and felt of it, and I said, you know, the material feels good, and you know, it's, you know, looks like it's quality, and it was 500 pesos. I'm like, all right. I mean, it was cheaper than my breakfast, and I'm gonna have it forever. Um, so I got me a shirt, and it matches the hat. I got an Under Armour shirt to go with my Under Armour hat. I'm stylish like that. All right, nobody's commenting on anything. And then, uh, so when I got all the plumbing stuff, like the problem was, you know, I needed to connect the overflow line to the plumbing. And, you know, they nowhere had, you know, a strainer basket that had a connection for an overflow line. And like all the sinks in the place, like the sinks that were on, none of them had an overflow port. Like, I don't know why this one does. Um, I guess they're afraid of flooding the condo, but I thought about just disconnecting that and getting, you know, they've got the, you know, the inserts, like the hole where the overflow piece is, like just disconnect it and pop the cover over the overflow. And I figured if that don't work, I bought some flex tape. I was like, if worst comes to worst, and like I can't find something where I can make that overflow work, I'm just gonna tape that overflow up and screw it. But I was able to get it all back connected, no leaks. So, John Platt, depends where you live, James. James is my actual brother, John, uh, and he lives in Louisiana. So 6 a.m. for him would be, for me would be, I guess 6 p.m. for him, something like that. You know, it's not bad to, you know, for like a, you know, a U.S. audience. But I don't know. Barry's building said, "How do you deal with James? Which James? My brother James? My brother James is in here. Sorry, James and USA. Yeah, but Barry's building. How do I deal with James? What James are you talking about? Like I said, my brother James is in the chat. Barry's building said no. He said no. Tell me about it, Barry's building. What you got going on? What are we talking about? Maybe I should be nice. That's the best way to do. Like I'm nice to everybody. Yes, like you ask me how I deal with James. Like same way I deal with John or Joe or Ringo or anybody. Like just be respectful and nice and uh, courteous, and normally you get that back. I'm sure you have a cool bro. Yeah, James is awesome. Nana Panda Channel says, hello, Sir Ray. Hey, Nana Panda Channel. That's fun to say. I don't know if I'm subscribed. Let me see if I'm subscribed to Nana Panda Panda. Nana Panda Channel. I am. I am subscribed. I just wanted to check. Where? Gina, okay. Let's ask this instead. How's the Philippines and hey Gina, I've been wondering about you, girl. What you been up to? All right, let's see. John, hi, J and K, or James in USA. Barry said, let's ask this instead. How's the Philippine and something? I want to move there, but it's a huge step. How long you live there? I'll get back to you in a second. You forgot me. I just leave YouTube for 2 months. I didn't forget you, Gina. But your channel wasn't Nana. I would have figured it out, but it wasn't Nana Panda channel. You changed the name. So anyway, I didn't forget you. But to answer Barry's question, I love the Philippines. Like, I think most people when they move to the Philippines, the only question that they have is, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, because it's easy to find reasons to hold out. It's like, oh, well, let me save a little bit more money, or let me do this or do that or whatever. And basically it boils down to, it's like, just get all your ducks in a row as quickly as possible, and then just do it. And I don't think you'll regret it. First step before coming to the Philippines is make sure you have the right mindset, and that is like positive. If you come to the Philippines with a positive attitude, you are going to have an amazing experience. Like, there's plenty that you're going to find that you can be happy and excited about. If you want to focus on the negative, you'll find plenty of stuff to complain about too. But let's see. And I've lived here basically since October full time. It's okay, sir. Right. Well, thank you for giving me, Gina. Susie, well, look at you all looking handsome. Well, thank you. Yeah, Lynn calls me SG for super guapo. Guapo means handsome, Susie. Super guapo. That's me, SG. You got your OGs and you got your SGs. I'm an SG. James, I always get up early drinking coffee, quick time. Yeah, I know you're always up. I'm surprised Susie's up. I don't know what the hell Susie's doing up at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's not like Susie. Normally she sleeps later. Barry said, do you miss your kids and grandkids? No on either one, Barry. I had 2 sons in the U.S. that both of them have passed away, and there was no grandchildren from either of them. And I have a daughter that lives in Canada. So no grandkids, and anyway, it was time for me to come on over here. Susie, yeah, James Harmon, me too. Getting up early and drinking coffee. I said I wouldn't use that. John Platt, you're spot on, Ray. I nearly turned back at the airport 5 years ago. I'm so glad I did. Yeah, it's like you can find a reason, like, to stay in the States, a little bit longer, do a little bit more. But at some point you just gotta say, this is it. I'm going, and just go, do it. Don't look back. Barry said, so sorry, but yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I did a whole video about it. That was pretty much the impetus for me to come to the Philippines, was losing my mom and my son kind of close together in the same year. Uh, yeah, after that, like I was definitely ready for a change in my life. The stars lined up for you, good sir. Yeah, I am. You know, I'm blessed to be here. Uh, you know, I everybody has tragedy or down periods in their life, um, and it's how you respond to that. And now, um, like I am the happiest I've been myself in my entire life. Like just being me. I'm not happy that my son's died. I'm not happy my mom died. I mean, all that just happened in my life. But as far as me personally, like my own connection with my life, like I've never been more content or happy since moving to the Philippines. Okay. Barry said, I feel that would be the biggest problem leaving my babies. I mean, the grandbabies, my boys are great, but they're butt heads. That's funny. Barry, well, Barry, do you, do they all live close or is it like a visit type situation? Like, um, it would definitely be hard if like your grandbabies, like if they all lived, like if you all lived like within the same town, like yeah, that would be hard to move away from that type of situation. Uh, Simon said, "Hey mate, nice to hear. Nice to hear that I'm happy. Yeah, I'm very happy, Simon. Vaughn, I am hoping nothing happens like that for many people who want or need to go to the Philippines. Yeah, no, I mean, I hope they just, make a decision to go. Like, and, that was my reason for doing YouTube. Like, if you watch that video, like, YouTube, like, inspired me and influenced me to change my life and come to the Philippines. And so, after being here for a while, then I guess I got convicted to be that next man up to, inspire the next guy, hey, if you're not totally, completely, 100% happy in your life, then you need to change that. And, this might be an option for you. Um, like if you're wherever you are, if you're super happy in your life, stay there. Keep being happy. Like I just want people to be happy. Uh, let's see. Simon said all the stars align. That's why I decided it was time for me. Okay, I got you, Simon. Like so basically the stars aligning for you was basically you got no more excuses. You have to get off your ass. Got no more excuses. Barry said, I have 3 sons. I love them. There's always trouble. I nearly lost my boys to drugs. There were several dark days trying to help straighten their lives out. Now I'm a bad guy for doing things. Yeah, and like I understand that Barry. Live very close. Okay, yeah, I understand that Barry, and you know, being like I wasn't a perfect father, but being a father is like one of the most thankless jobs in the world. Like I was reading something. I was either reading something or watching a video or something where I got this information, but it was showing like you know, in the U.S., like Mother's Day, I think is like the third most celebrated holiday in the U.S. as far as like consumerism, like, you know, buying. Or it was third or fourth. I think it might have been like ahead of Valentine's Day for, you know, consumer spending. There was like, you know, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, and like uh, then like Father's Day was like down past 10. Like there, you know, I think like Groundhog's Day was ahead of it or something crazy. It was, but you know, like the father is, you know, most time is the bad guy. You know, like they hopefully kids, you know, appreciate it as they, you know, get older. But even if they don't, like you got to do what you got to do, and whether you're appreciated or not, like you've got to have peace within yourself. It's like, you know, I did what I could, and uh, anyway, I got off on a tangent there. I hope you know what I'm talking about, Barry. Uh, Barry, I just have one of each, one girl, one boy, and they do live close, like within 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, that would be hard to move away like that, where you know, like you can. It's not like, you know, they live across country or something, and you know you're just doing like video chat anyway, because like that's the way it was, you know, like with my father, like we live, you know, far enough apart where, you know, but we would just video chat every once in a while to catch up, and we still do that. It's nothing's changed, but you know, as far as like, you know, physically being there, yeah, that would probably be hard for me too. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, Barry. Michael said, "Amen to that. Take a leap of faith." Yeah, absolutely. And you know that's another thing, Barry. It's, you know, maybe you could try to, you know, do like you know, there's a lot of people that do like a 6 month kind of deal, like, you know, stay in the Philippines for 6 months, go back to the U.S. for 6 months. Um, but really, Barry, like, I mean, I know that you know you love your grandbabies and your kids and everything, but you know, uh, in the U.S., like it's like I know even, you know, just you, I'm sure you're like busy during like just from like it's just busy in the U.S. So if you came over here and just went home, you know, maybe a couple times a year for like a month or something, and just gave, you know, solid your solid time, 100%, um, for 2 months a year, just a solid 2 months a year of quality time. That's more than most people give when like they live next door to each other. Like if you count it up over the year, how much actual quality time you spend, but being freed up to, you know, just give like all of your time and attention while you're there, it would mean a lot. I mean, it's an option that you could look at, think about. Heriday, hey sir, how you feeling today? I'm feeling good, Heriday. Said hi. 16 number like done. Thank you so much. John Platt, yeah, I had no kids, no future until I come here. And I have 3-year-old and a beautiful wife. Yeah, John, like, you know, for people like you and me, like the Philippines is custom made. You know, there's workarounds and stuff for people that, you know, are in like Barry's situation, but like for for the older and lonely, yeah, come to the Philippines. Vaughn, Misery loves company at Barry's building. Yeah, that's true. Like, you know, uh, I don't know, maybe come over and get established and, you know, might be, you might even be in a better position to, uh, like help your sons even more. Start, start, start guiding them and finding out what the Philippines are like. Get them to saving so that like they can retire early. Hell, maybe you know if things work out right, they might be able to retire. You know, while you're still alive and kicking, because you'll live longer if you come to the Philippines. I would pretty much guarantee that. I think anybody that comes to the Philippines extends their life expectancy. I truly believe that. Like I said, my favorite holidays are Mother's and Father's Day. Yeah, no, those like, but like you know like Mother's Day is like you know uh, way above Father's Day as far as you know uh, like Father's Day you know you get a tie or some socks or something maybe a homemade card from the kids but uh, something said my parents were a blessing. Absolutely, mine are definitely a blessing. My dad. John said, "Hi, here I am from Newcastle, UK." Herday, oh really? I'm Herday Hossein from Bangladesh. I knew Herday was from Bangladesh. John said, "Nice." I have one question, John. Is it hard to find a place to live? Okay, okay. One question. Barry said, "Is it hard to find a place to live and make it home?" Um, Not really. And I, like, I really haven't, you know, made my condo a home. Um, you know, I, like, for me, like, I just want to be comfortable and on a, like, my, my bills here is on a budget. And then from here, you know, probably like, I want to start implementing this like every other month, at least every other month, take off and go somewhere and see different things, visit different people, uh, you know, meet my friends that I've met on here, and just travel. And you know, to me, when you have a home, like a home requires your attention. Like you've got to. I mean, there's things that you have to do because it's your home, and like I don't want that responsibility. You know, I know I just fixed my sink, but that's because I felt like doing it, not because I had to. Uh, John, I went to Thailand in 2018. It changed my life. Yeah, I still haven't been to Thailand. That's on my to-do list. But first, I want to visit like all around the Philippines. There's, you know, I want to see Bohol and Dumaguete and Siargao, and I was close when I was in Panay, but you know, I'll see Boracay and uh, you know, Palawan and uh, Bacolod, Bacolod, Bacolod. I think it's Bacolod, Bacolod, Bohol, uh, Bicol. Uh, where else did I say? Boracay, Palawan, and then some areas that were close by here. Like I want to see Bataan because I like the history. Micah said, I should say are a blessing. Without them, wouldn't be where I am right now in my life. Uh, Give it all to them. That's awesome. That's awesome that you have that close relationship, Michael. Definitely helps. Where is he? Faraday, tell me weather condition now in your country. Well, in my, like, do you want in my, like, generally in the country or like here in particular? Because, like, here in particular, let's let it, it's got to update. I don't see any rain showers, but it's 76 degrees. It says rain showers, but it's not raining. So I don't think it's gonna rain. Yeah, it says, so to go down to, let's see, low is about 70, 71 degrees. Oh wow, it's gonna be 80 tomorrow. High of 82 tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Air day, summer, winter. Um, it's, I guess it's like getting to be like the end of rainy season, and it should like cool off. Normally the burr months, September, October, November, December, you know, starts getting cooler, and then, you know, January, February, I think starts getting hot again in like March or April, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Ray was old and lonely, but not anymore. Nope, not anymore. You are correct about that, John. Barry said, I'm a contractor and would love to build a home there. Yeah, and, you know, it's definitely doable. I would, like, if, you know, I'm not gonna tell everybody that, you know, my way to live is the only way to live. Like, I want people to do whatever makes them happy. So if I was the type of person that, you know, was set on having a house, I would get an SRV visa. And I don't know if you're prior military or not, but if you're not, you know, you'll put a certain amount in the bank, and after you get approved for SRV visa, then after a month, then you're able to transfer that money to either like buying a condo or long-term lease. So I don't know your age, but like you could get a 50-year lease on a piece of land, you know, build you a house and, you know, live there. You know, I mean, after 50 years, like, you know, unless you're really young, like you're gonna be done living there by then, if that makes sense. So, you know, I don't look at it like a waste of money building a house, because, you know, uh, if you figure out, you know, whatever the house cost is, and then, you know, your per month cost that you're not spending having a house that you built the way you want it, like, it's all a wash. I mean, you know, uh, so yeah, if you were wanting to build a house, then yeah, I would, you know, I'd look for a piece of land, you know, get a permanent resident visa, you know, get a long-term lease, get it all paid up, and, you know, go through a lawyer, have the long-term lease, pay the entire amount, and, you know, you're done. It's, you know, like buying a piece of land, but you're buying it for 50 years, basically. Simon says, hey to John. Here today, your occupation, John. Barry, that's definitely true, Ray. The stress alone has to be less there. The price of living is just out of hand here. Yeah, I mean, you know, and that's what it is for me. It's, you know, there's pros and cons living anywhere, but you're definitely gonna have less stress here. you may not have like all the food that you want here, but you'll definitely have healthy food. You can eat as healthy as you want in the Philippines. Like there's, you know, fresh fruits, vegetables, like in abundance, like, and it's cheap. Like in the U.S., you gotta almost, you know, take out a mortgage to, you know, fill your shopping cart full of fresh fruits and vegetables. Instead, you can go to like McDonald's. You can go to McDonald's and eat cheaper than, you know, buying a bag of apples. Like it's just crazy how much like fresh produce costs in the U.S. But here, it's like super abundant and cheap. John said was a tree feller. Okay. So if I guess that's the British term. I guess it, like in the U.S. you would have been a lumberjack, tree feller. Michael said stress drops drastically, next to non-existent. I'm simply happier here. Absolutely, Michael. Like you know, it's like you can breathe. I don't know. Like it's hard to describe. Like, you know, have you ever watched like a suspenseful movie, and you know you're watching it and you feel like a tightness in your chest, and you know it's like your muscles are tensed. You don't even realize that you're doing it because you know you got that anxiety if you're watching something that's like really intense. That's what it, to me, that's what it's like living in the US, like all the time. It's like there's always this sense of tension and like, you know, what's gonna happen, like something bad is gonna happen at any moment. And here, like all the tension's gone and it's just like ain't nothing gonna happen. Like I don't know, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do today, and maybe I'll do it, maybe I'll take a nap. I don't know, but I'm not gonna be stressed about it. And so, yeah, I love it in the Philippines. I definitely recommend it to everybody. Uh, Barry said, true about the home. Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, people like what they like. Like, there's things that I would like uh, with having a home, with having a yard, with having, you know, more space. Uh, there's things that I miss living in a condo. But the trade-off is, you know, I have a lot more freedom living in a condo. And right now, in this point of my life, that freedom and like just pack a bag and take off and don't give a shit for, you know, a couple weeks, 3 weeks, month, whatever. Just having that freedom to just do that at any moment makes me happy. Like, even if I'm not going anywhere, just knowing I could just pick up and just take off for a while, like having that at my fingertips makes me happy. Uh, you know, whereas if, you know, I had a house that, you know, maybe I had to take care of, or even if I didn't take care of it, have to, you know, coordinate someone to come, you know, cut the grass or check to make sure the pipes didn't burst or whatever it is, like that's something to think about. And I don't want shit to think about. You know, having stuff to worry about is what causes stress. So I want to have a life where I'm not worried about anything. I don't want to own anything. I don't want to own a scooter. If I wanted to go somewhere on a scooter, then I would go rent a scooter. But normally I'm fine with just public transportation. You know, because Like if I owned a scooter right now, uh, I would have to figure out like where to park it. I'd have to, pay for a parking spot here at the condo. I have to pay that every month, whether I go anywhere or not, just to have the scooter there. And then, I have to worry about, you know, not that it's a big deal, stopping to get gas or, getting an oil change or, you know, doing emissions tests. Like every so often, you got to go to the LTO do emissions test, like get a new license plate, all that. Like all that is responsibility. Like to me, like buying something is like buying a responsibility, no matter what it is. Like if you buy something, now that's like a responsibility that you didn't have. Um, some things, at a higher level than others. Like buying a dog, that's buying a responsibility. You know, something that you got to take care of. I mean, even this shirt, I bought this shirt. Um, it's gonna have to be washed at some point. That's a responsibility. I've got to take it and go get it washed. Now, I mean, some things you have to accept responsibility for. I can't just walk around naked. Uh, they wouldn't. I think they'd frown upon that in the Philippines. Barry said, "So any expats that are married and moved to the Philippines? Tons. Yeah. They're. Are you talking about expats that are married in the U.S.? Like I've got a couple coming here thinking about settling into Gaitai. They're from Texas, but they're it's not normal. You see like you know fully Caucasian couple like moving together to the Philippines, but that's that situation. So if that's your question, then yeah, it definitely happens. Um, but normally it's either single guy or or a guy that is married to a Filipina and then they move back to the Philippines. Lynn said hey. Hey Lynn. Lynn's my girlfriend. Shout out Lynn. I called you my girlfriend right here on the live stream. You saw it. John said my wife was OFW in Bahrain. She had house on Pegabee. Year we were LDR for more than a year. We met online. I paid house off. When I got here, was skeptical, but turned out fine. Was a blessing for both of us. Yeah, like you can't live your life worrying about what could go wrong. Like a healthy dose of skepticism can be a good thing. Like you don't want to you know just be completely blind to anything. But if you're going through making decisions with your eyes wide open and doing things, it's like hey, here's what I would say. Like if you're making decisions that it's like if this goes wrong, I can recover from it and everything seems fine, go for it. Like, take the leap of faith. Like, make that decision. Do whatever it is. If it doesn't go wrong, or if it doesn't go right, it just doesn't go right. And you're gonna survive. You're gonna move on. You're gonna learn from it. But when it's like something bigger, like the problem with a lot of expats is like they make decisions where like if it goes wrong, then like their life's ruined. Well, don't make that decision. Like that's that's not worth taking a chance. Like it's like, oh, I'm gonna take everything that I own and spend it on this house in the Philippines that I don't own, and then I'll have a place to live for the rest of my life, and then that goes wrong and you don't have nothing. Don't make decisions like that. if that makes sense. Michael C. What's up, Mike C? It's an evening, bro. Is Taal volcano doing okay? By you, I saw some info about some small ash activity. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, there was like a minor little eruption. I didn't hear nothing. I haven't seen anything. No change as far as I could tell. Maybe the wind was blowing a different direction, but no, we didn't get any ash or anything. Michael said, I don't know any Barry, all expats with Filipina. I did see a foreign woman once with a Filipino. Yeah, yeah, no, Mike. I know of like I said, it's not as common, but there's a couple coming from Texas that's gonna move over here. They're in the process of selling everything they got. They had like a welding truck and all kinds of like land, and they're selling their house and everything, and gonna move over here full time. Susie said, "Isn't it like the start of Christmas there?" Yes, Susie. Basically, they call it the Burr months: September, October, November, December. Like that's Christmas. If it ends in Burr, it's Christmas. Lynn said hi to my sis. Susie is my sister, by the way. John said hi to Lynn. Barry's 58, young old guy. Yeah, I'm 56, Barry. Hello, nice hat and shirt. Yeah, I'm all matching now. I bought this shirt today, 500 pesos. Shows off my pectorals. I saw you looking at my pecs. John, go Michael. Barry, well, I guess it may be best to find a place to do improvements. Mike, why? Mike, Karen, and James did. Well, Karen and James built, and that it's if you've got a Filipino wife, and if after after you've been married for, like, this is just me. I'm not cynical at all. I'm not. But like, I would say, like, I would get married and like be married for at least 2 to 3 years before like buying land in your wife's name and building a house and all that. you know, uh, like I said, I don't want to say be cynical, but there's nothing wrong with being a little cautious and you know, making sure everything is still great after the initial honeymoon phase. That you still have that strong connection, and you build trust and confidence in the relationship. And then buy some land, build a house if that's what you two decide that you want to do. But if you're not married to a Filipina, then I would get I would probably find like a piece of land with a house and like negotiate a long-term kind of lease, and like once that's locked down, then just go in, and you can you talk to the owner beforehand and say, look, this is what I want to do. I want to basically gut the place, like put in a Western style bathroom and kitchen and everything, and have a long-term lease and make it how you want. Like that's an option too. Bama, a little bit late but made it. What's up, Ray and everybody? What's up, Bama? Roll Tide. Hello, John Platt. Thanks for the support to Ray. Welcome, Lynn. Yeah, Ray shop local eggs. Shop local eggs. Okay. I will take that advice. I probably need eggs. I haven't bought eggs in a while. Well, I'm planning on going to S&R tomorrow. Of course, that's not local eggs. I probably don't need to buy eggs at S&R. I need to just shop for what I can't get anywhere else at S&R tomorrow. And then John, wait, no. Micah said, I believe it is much better to buy a lot and build your own home. Yeah, it probably is. But like I said, it's, uh, either way, if you're not married to a Filipina, then it's going to involve a long-term lease. And, depending on, where the location is, like, there may be a house that's on like your premium location, and if you can negotiate the long-term lease for that location, then normally the landlord's not going to have any problem with you dumping money into his property. But ideally, like Michael said, if you would be married to a Filipina, and it would be something that you're building together. John said, Ray, lumberjack in USA. Yeah, that's what you are, John. You're a lumberjack. See, the British always, like, they always make things, like, it's a lumberjack tree feller. What the hell is a tree feller? It sounds like, like a feller is like a dude, is like a tree dude. You're like a tree feller. Hey, feller. Tree feller. But yeah. And you know what else? Here's one thing. Okay. I am going to convince you right now, John, that the trunk of a car should not be called a boot. And I'm going to tell you why. All right. This is why the back end of a car should be called a trunk. All right. Because back in the sailing days, or steamer days, the big ships, you would bring a steamer trunk, that you would put all your stuff in and store to travel with. So a trunk is a compartment that's used to store stuff while you're traveling. Doesn't that sound like the compartment in the back of a car? It's a compartment to store stuff while you're traveling. What the hell does that have to do with a boot? Try to explain to me why boot makes more sense than what I just said to you. And then I'll change my mind about the trunk of a car. Bama said hey to Mike. Mike said hello everyone, getting content from Ray to talk about tonight. Okay, yeah, I started early, so I still have a little bit, about 30 minutes to go. I normally do an hour and a half. Agree, Michael, no rent is the way forward. Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to anything. Michael said, with the exception of last night's earthquake and my high-rise apartment shaking from side to side, that was the first true stress I have felt since being here. Yeah, and we've had it wasn't the same magnitude. I think the highest that we've had here was like 5.8, just off the coast. And, my condo like did a little jiggle, but like when Lynn was here, she was more freaked out than I was. Whatever, it's just a little shake. Ain't no big deal. John said, even in my wife's name, haha, what can go wrong? Well, yeah, I mean, Billy just got up making her coffee. Got to go, see y'all tomorrow. All right, James, see you tomorrow. Give Billy hugs and kisses. Love y'all. Michael, John Platt, you need to be able to trust your wife, or why be married? And that's that's true. But sometimes especially here, there is not like the long engagement period that you would have in the U.S. Um, and I still say that you should be you know especially like if you get married fairly quickly, like from being like LDR to being married. If that's your situation, if you're like LDR for a long time and then you're able to come over and you get married, then yeah, I would definitely, live together and be together for at least a couple of years before making any like major financial decisions that will impact you. I'm not saying don't trust your wife, but that's my advice. Uh, John, I trust my wife and all my family. Yeah, and John, you've known your wife for a while now. Michael, then buy land and build a house, better overall. Yeah, I think John's already doing that. Who was it? It was Barry that was talking about building a house. That's what we're talking about. I think John already has a house or building a house. Mike said, I agree, Ray. I have minimal clothes here. All you need is shorts and t-shirts. If you need a new shirt, you can find nice shirts very cheap. I have found unique t-shirts for 40 pesos. Yeah, absolutely. This is more a little stylish. I splurged on this shirt because it's like I wish you could feel it. It's good quality. I like it. It's nice to splurge every once in a while. Makes me feel pretty. Mike, smog annually after 3 years old. Oh, you're talking about with the scooter or motorcycle. Michael, materialistic things have faded from my life here. Most priceless thing here is happiness. Absolutely. Like anybody that's been on my live stream heard me say 100 times, like success is happiness. Like if you're happy, you're successful. That's all that matters. Like there's people that, have millions of dollars and are miserable. They are not successful. Uh, my ego responsibility is having a girlfriend. I don't know. Is that really a responsibility? Like, um, it's like mutual responsibility. You take care of your girlfriend or wife, and she takes care of you. It's kind of a wash. But like a scooter's not going to take care of me. It could just break down and screw you. But see, if I'm renting a scooter, then scooter breaks down. That's not my problem. Call people up. Hey, come bring me another scooter because this other scooter ain't working. You need to bring that one back. Give me another scooter. John, been looking. Michael, have built house up here. Would like beach house in Batangas. Like Masbate, but too remote for me. Okay, so you are looking to build, John. Okay, I got you. Like the quiet in Masbate, but too remote for me. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know how I would do being that remote. Um, I like visiting. Um, weather is great here in Masbate. 30 Celsius and beautiful skies. That's hot. That's too hot. Plan editor said, hey, what's up? What's up, plan editor? Barry said, I've watched several expat videos from there, and they all say the same thing about having to change their eating habits. Like beef is hard to get, but that's so true about fruits and vegetables. Yeah, and it depends on where you are. And I'm not saying the beef here is like you know, comparable to, you know, Australia or the U.S. or anywhere else. I mean, you can get that at like S&R, but the local beef here where I live, like Tagaytay, is plentiful. This is, you know, one of the big beef areas in the Philippines. So, like, it's not hard for me to find beef, and I can season it up and I can make it do what it do. And fruits and vegetables, like I said, are plentiful. John would love to move next to you, Michael. Enjoy your videos. Michael said, plenty of places here. Barry said, fruits and vegetables just isn't worth buying any longer. But if you do, they're rotten in a few days. The vegetables last a little longer. Yeah, and see here, it's, you know, you don't have to stock up. Like, I like, and I've always been this way, even in the States, but it is more expensive in the States. But, like, I would buy per meal. Like, you know, if I needed, you know, whatever meat, whatever vegetables to make whatever I'm making, I just pop over to the store, get what I need fresh, cook it right then. Like, it's, to me, that's part of the food preparation process, is buying the food fresh. Like, I've never been the type to, like, I would never have like a, I guess you would have to if you were way out in the middle of nowhere, but like I would never have like a big deep freezer with like all this meat stored in there, you know, because who knows the next time I'm gonna get to the store and be able to buy stuff. Like, yeah, I like here just got like a little small refrigerator and just basically for storing leftovers, and that's about it. John said it's just the boat rides, Michael, and lack of stable power. Yeah, like I couldn't do brownouts. Aircon Queen loved the fishing boat thing. And Aircon Queen loved the fishing boat thing. Okay. Yeah. Like you can make a place in the province as comfortable as you want. You know, if you spend enough money, you can pretty much do anything you want. Barry, are you talking about here in Philippines or somewhere else? Here in Philippines, grow your own veggies. Barry, I've been married for 37 years and I want my wife to come, but she told me she would not go, so we'll see how that goes. I'm coming as soon as I get this retirement thing figured out. Well, that's cool too, Barry. Like, you know, like I said, it might be able to, you might be able to do something, you know, like on a here there type situation. You know, maybe get her to go with you one time and see how she likes it. It might completely change your mind. Might have said cautious over impulsive. Yeah, that's pretty much, you know, everything in life. Like you know, I'm not one to live my life scared, but I don't make any like life changing decisions impulsively. Uh, Everything else, yeah, I do that impulsively. Barry, yeah, I would grow my own vegetables. Anna's here, AMFR, good evening all. Barry, Ray, did you feel that earthquake 6.9? No, that was too far away from me. That was down in the Visayas. It didn't shake up here in Luzon. John, Ray, chainsaw guy, 30 years. I know you're a lumberjack. Lumberjack. Michael said, just go as long as you want in your fit. No, I normally cut it off about an hour and a half, Michael. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Thanks, Mike. Barry, Ray, did you live in the States? Yeah, I'm from Louisiana. I lived in Louisiana, Barry. Normally I'm wearing my Saints hat, but I got my fleur de lis there. But since I got a new Under Armour shirt, I decided to wear the matching Under Armour hat. John Platt, yeah, I feel that one, Ray, shaking the bed. Yeah, I like a good earthquake. Like it just lay there and just vibrate. I know that sounds weird, but like if it's my time, it's my time. You know, like if God wanted to drop a building on me at any moment, He can do it. So, like I'm not gonna get stressed about it. I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. Let it shake. Michael said, long engagement, at least 2 years, should be a requirement to get married in the Philippines. Yeah, I agree, Michael. But sometimes that just doesn't happen. You know, uh, I owned my wife for 37 years. Oh, was that a layaway plan, Barry? Or is it just like the owned my wife? Uh, how many years has she owned you, Barry? Michael, have a good evening, Ray. Just wanted to support your channel while I was eating dinner. I appreciate you, Michael. Uh, on my next trip around, whenever I get back, my next like Elo trip, I'm definitely coming over to Bacala this time. Uh, I'm gonna plan it where I can come see you guys, see you and Che, and you know, give me about another month or so. John said, "Hi, Michael. I thought my wife was crazy. Was talking marriage early on, but I have no regrets. We're married 5 years already. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, most of the time there's not any problem with it. But I still like. I think someone that's coming over to full time in the Philippines should take 2 years. Like, uh, either like 2 years engagement together, travel, experience the Philippines, get accustomed to being in the Philippines instead of like rushing into marriage and settling down, moving into a house, and now you're doing like just like domestic. It's you're kind of limiting yourself. That's just me. Now, you know, someone may be like that may be happiness to them. That would not be happiness to me. Like I, uh, I got too many places I want to go before I'm ready to, stay at the house and garden. Um, but that's just me. Like I said, everybody's happiness looks different. I go very nice, John. I dated my wife 2 months, then we got married, been happily together 13 plus years. That's awesome, Michael. Charm's a good one, for sure. Barry, I think that's my biggest hurdle is getting rid of the cars and all those material things. My house is paid and worth 300 and it's nice. 380,000 and it's nice. I don't know how I would deal with no water or power at times. Well, you would, if depending on where you live, like you would, you'd build with, solar, whether it's solar backup or solar main, and it's a lot cheaper to build a solar powered house here than it is in the States. But even if you're on grid, you could put solar up and have batteries, and it would switch over. Uh, you know, if you had a brownout, like you wouldn't be affected. And what was the other thing you were worried about? Water. Yeah, you would, have your own water tower, and you know, your pump would be part of the electrical for your solar, so you'd never be without water or power. Like as long as you planned for that to begin with. John, Great, Michael. You know when it's right and genuine. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm not saying that, you should be distrustful of the woman that you love. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with taking a little time early on. Exactly, John. John, my wife's whole family came to airport and waited hours for me. My own family in UK would never do that. You're cherished here. Absolutely. Yeah, no. Like, I view, you know, Filipino family as a blessing. Uh, a lot of people, a lot of expat vloggers, talk about like the Philippine family like they're, leeches. It's like, oh, they're, if you marry a Filipina, you marry her whole family. Yeah, you do. And that's a good thing. Like, you should embrace that. I'm not saying that, you support, every Tito and Tita and all this, but, if you marry into a family anywhere in the world, then her family becomes your family and your family becomes her family. That's normal. I don't know why expats are some expat vloggers like make that a negative. Anyway, I need to catch up. Micah said, Barry, do not get rid of everything. Just go back and forth like a snowboard. Yeah, I think that'd probably be the best move for a while, for sure. Barry, what's the difference between the provinces and non-province? When people refer to the province, like they're talking about more rural areas of the Philippines, like, you know, it's just like province is, like I live in a province, the province of Cavite. It's a, bigger province, and I live in a city within that province. But normally when people are like vloggers, YouTubers are referring to the province, it's like, you know, like in the U.S., someone referring to, living in the country. Like living in the province is living in the country. You're kind of more remote. You gotta travel to get to, the store, and uh, so hopefully that was explanatory. But it's just province is basically just slang for living in the country, living in the sticks, living in the rural area. Hello to Anna. They're so protective of me. Yeah, absolutely, John. The Philippine family's great. Barry, that's what I think I will try to do, Michael. Yeah, back and forth. I think that's the best move for a while. Just how much is a ticket to the Philippines? Driving. Well, I can just end so you can go talk on Michael's channel. You can ask me. If you book ahead, I've been able to get tickets as low as like uh, $600, especially one way. And you just get like if you're gonna stay for a while, just get like an $18 onward ticket, throwaway ticket. So like $618, and then stay as long as you want, and then get a one-way ticket back. I think a lot of times you can get that cheaper than a round trip ticket, and of course it's a lot more freeing, not having a set date. Barry said a long time, Ray, LOL. Oh, how long she's owned you? I need to catch up. I'm way behind. Flight is the most expensive here, Barry. Rest is cheap. Yeah, I agree with that, John. Round trip tickets are about $1,500, $1,800 from U.S. to Philly back. Yeah, like I said, if you plan ahead and get your ticket at certain times, yeah, you can. I've seen tickets as low as $600, and I would do one way and then it frees you up for the flight back. Barry, Ray, I know this is sort of a personal question, but do you make much off of YouTube? So far, nothing. I just recently got monetized for the first level, but no, I spend money on YouTube. You know, like subscriptions for editing and all that. Um, it's kind of like a hobby, and I enjoy it. And you know, I would do it if I never made a dime because you know I meet a lot of friends through YouTube and hopefully you know give some information to people that you know are thinking about coming to the Philippines. You know, if I don't know, I can point them in the right direction. But so far, I haven't really made anything from YouTube. I've spent quite a bit, you know, to make YouTube. I'm not much of a businessman. I'm, like I said, to me, success is being happy. I've been happy doing YouTube, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Michael said you guys can come over and go live with me when Ray is done. We can go more in depth the province living versus city living. Yeah, Michael can clue you in on what it's like to live in the province. Barry, that's a little high. Colonel, hey Ray, hey Colonel, my cowboy brother, how you doing tonight? Michael Barry, I have not flown to the U.S. since 2012. Barry, well, that would be great. I think that's would be a great way to start. John, exactly, Ray, there is no borrow here. No, there's no borrow. If someone needs to borrow money, that's that's a gift. Like never loan more money than you can stand not getting back, because majority of the time you're not getting it back. But they look after you like no other nation. Absolutely, John. Mine goes 700, 1,300 per Google for round trip tickets. Yeah, you can get like cheap tickets, but you know normally I mean you could find super cheap one way tickets, but I wouldn't trust. I'm talking about like a good flight, about $600. You can get a good flight where it's not like, you know, 3 stops with 10-hour layovers and bullshit like that. I wouldn't do flights like that. It's not worth saving, you know, $50 to. Barry, okay, like city versus country. Yeah, pretty much. Province, non-province, pretty much like country living, city living. Barry, that's not bad. John, but they won't kiss you in public. The charm. Barry, what about medicine? I did a healthcare video, Barry. I don't know if you subscribed or not, but if you know you want to subscribe, you can look. I did a video on healthcare and private health insurance and public health insurance and all health related issues in the Philippines for the most part. Michael, ladies do not like to kiss the belly. No PDA. Like some Filipinas, like the good ones, they don't even want to hold your hand in public. They'll like walk like they don't even know you, and then you know as soon as you get back inside, then they grab all over you. Like, Michael said, medicines are easy to get here, but when it comes to drugs that help you in place of heroin or things like that, you would need prescription. Scott's here at Christmas from Baltimore to Clark one way at 1,600. Round trip is 2,500. Yeah, like during like peak seasons, yeah, it can get expensive. So I was not far on price. That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, I am at 89 minutes and 47 seconds. So I am right at my hour and a half. So y'all can go over check out Michael's channel. Barry, you would, well, first hopefully you subscribe to my channel, but as soon as I end this live stream, type in, like, maybe take a screenshot, Thriving Philippine Expat. If you look up Thriving Philippine Expat in your YouTube search bar, you'll get Michael's channel. And I think he's going to go live right after I get off of here. So you can continue the conversation over there. Barry, and I appreciate you being here. Let's see. In March, it's about 900 one way and round trip 1400. Yeah. Michael, getting medication is even easier in Thailand. We'll have to talk about that sometime. Barry said, I do need pain medication and from playing too hard, so I can get like pain pills as needed. Yeah, like you can get prescriptions. Yes, Colonel, tonight. Yeah, Michael's fixing to go live. I am at 91 minutes, so I'm gonna tip on off of that. Who dat? I love you all. Go check out Michael. Love you all. Bye.